What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the More Than Philly Sports Network. It's great to be here with all of you today, 5:03 p.m. here on the East Coast on Wednesday, May 19th, 2021. We have an exciting show in store for all of you today. Just to recap last night's games, of course, Charlotte Hornets going down in a surprising fashion to the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers move on to play against the Washington Wizards, who lost later in the night to Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics as he dropped a 50-burger en route to the 7th seed. They will be playing the Brooklyn Nets in the first round. Now the drama starts. Western Conference playing tournaments between the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers. Now before that, let's give some respect where it is. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies will be playing against the San Antonio Spurs. We'll get to that a little bit later, but we're going to start off on a little bit different of a note. Usually we tend to bring Gavin at this point. We talk about how our days are going, but not today. Today's going to be a little bit of a interesting debate between the two of us. This is a monumental moment for our show. Gavin himself has always been a big fan of what's been going on in the Bay Area, whether it was Oakland or now San Francisco. Big fan of Steph Curry, who we both agree is the best shooter of all time, undisputed. But then there's a man a couple thousand or about 1,000 miles, a little less than that, south. LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers, a team that was not expected to be as far down as they are at the 7th seed. With all of that being said, they have not tended to go head-to-head a lot this season, 3 times. Current record is 2-1 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Tonight is their 4th matchup, and tonight is going to be a big determination because the winner goes on to be the 7th seed and goes up against a young Phoenix Suns. The loser will have to earn the 8th seed in an extra game before the playoffs actually start and go up against the Utah Jazz, an environment nobody wants to play in right now. The reason this is such a fascinating game is for a couple of reasons. We all know Steph Curry and LeBron James have their history, starting back in 2015. But who is Steph Curry? Steph Curry came into the league somewhat known with the last name. Del Curry, of course, having a very successful career. But he came into the league out of Davidson, very respectable school for basketball, but he had ankle injuries. He was questionable early in his career. He all of a sudden became a very good three-point shooter, complemented with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. They then went out, fired Mark Jackson, brought in Steve Kerr, and the rest is history. They went on to win 3 finals of 5, and now the heat, I'd say, has cooled off. Kevin Durant has since departed. Klay Thompson, unfortunately, battling another injury in back-to-back years. And Draymond Green appears to have leveled off a little bit from his peak as a player. Steph Curry, healthy this year for the most part, has brought his team to a position where they can make the playoffs tonight. Even if not tonight, they will still have a very good opportunity later in the week. Let's now talk about LeBron James, both from the same area in Ohio. LeBron James came into the league in 2003 with sky-high expectations, and since the jump, he has by far exceeded them not only on the court, but off the court. He went from Cleveland, went to 1 NBA Finals with them, but did not win it. Went on to play with the Miami Heat in the Big Three, won 2 of 4 with them, went to the Finals all 4 years, went to Cleveland, made 8 straight Finals, including the 4 in Cleveland, won 1 of them against Steph Curry, went on to the Los Angeles Lakers, and won a title in year 2. Now we're back to 2021, where last night a very well-respected former NBA player and TNT analysis Kenny the Jet Smith, as he's nicknamed, went on to say that Steph Curry is the best player in basketball, a statement that I heavily disagree with. Now, he has played phenomenal this year, and as a matter of fact, I tweeted out my support for him as the most valuable player. And my definition of most valuable player is who adds the most wins to their team. However, with that being said, let's not forget about LeBron James. And I'm going to defend and acknowledge the Steph Curry fan here for a minute. Last year, everyone forgot about Steph Curry. Everyone said Damian Lillard, he's pulling up from half court. Damian Lillard is ruthless. And Damian Lillard is the best point guard in the league. I am not a Steph Curry hater, but I'm a realist. And even though LeBron James has not played a lot of games this year, it's been shortened due to his injury, he is less than a year, less than 8-9 months of coming off of an NBA title in an immaculate year, where societal pressures got to him, where physical pressures got to him, where the environment was changed indefinitely and was an experience unlike any other to claim his 4th Larry O'Brien trophy and his 4th Finals MVP. Something that was taken from Steph Curry by Kevin Durant twice, speaking of joining with other players. With all that being said, LeBron James still is the best player in basketball at his age. Curry, only 5 or so years younger, also has an immense amount of accolades. But at this moment, these two teams, tonight is not a game of who's the best in the NBA. It definitely has no implications on the GOAT conversation. There is no disrespect intended for Steph Curry whatsoever, but the statements said by Kenny Smith were absolute blasphemy. I apologize for using that word, of which Gavin is more common to use. With all of that being said, there is no comparison between the two. They have had very different careers, both very successful in their own ways, both very good at what they've done. However, tonight is simply put a Pacific Division rivalry between a former champion and a former champion. One team with a lot more championship aspirations this year than the other. Tonight could be close. It could be a bloodbath. We could see some of the rivalry that we saw with Cleveland and Golden State. But simply put, this is not a conversation of who's the best in the world. First of all, a couple weeks ago, my co-host, who, yes, will be coming in eventually, and I know he's very mad backstage, ready to explode, Kevin Durant was arguably the best player in the league. And Gavin, I'm sure, would probably stand by that if it wasn't for what Kenny said about Steph Curry, because it does go against LeBron James. At this moment, LeBron James is still arguably the best player in the league. I am confident that if you swap their positions, LeBron has that Warriors team in a much better position, but that's not the conversation we should be having. However, it's inevitable to have. As always, joined alongside my co-host, Gavin Toney. I had my monologue. Gavin, I'll give you an opportunity to take it away.
Look, Zach. Zach. First of all, I see why you kept me backstage, because you weren't gonna get that pure garbage that you just spewed out for the last 6 minutes out. First of all, with Kenny the Jet Smith, all right. First of all, Zach, he struggled to get to the board last night. I don't know if you saw that, but he kind of fumbled his way to the board. But Zach, Kenny the Jet Smith is right. As of right now, Steph Curry is the best basketball player in basketball right now because of these. I mean, look at these last 10 games. 46, 21, 36, 49, 34, 37, 41, 30. Oh, and by the way, Zach, they only have one loss in the last 10 games. Zach, they actually come into the play-in tournament on a little win streak versus teams like Utah and Phoenix are notable wins. Zach, so I don't want to hear that mess about LeBron James. Oh, and by the way, Zach, before LeBron James even got hurt, he wasn't playing his finest of basketball that you also love and dream about and sometimes come on and spew the garbage on here. Having saw that, when it comes to best player outside of this year, Zach, you know where I stand with that. There's a 7-foot giant in Brooklyn who has a lot to say about the blasphemy that just came out your mouth just now. Having saw that, Zach, let's get into it. You're right. Today is not about how good Steph Curry is, how decent LeBron James is. It's about how these teams got here. Now, and respectfully, Zach, in a year where LeBron James doesn't get hurt and Anthony Davis doesn't get hurt and Klay Thompson plays, the Warriors would have been. And I think the Lakers would have been a number one or a top 3 seed. We can acknowledge that. But it's not happening. You are going against a guy in Steph Curry who is playing the best of basketball since his MVP season. And Zach, I'll be honest, back in that second MVP season, he was playing phenomenal, but this reminds me of it. This is the Steph Curry that was a stone cold killer that made defenses annoyed. There's nothing you could do. He's pulling from 30. He's pulling from 40. He pulled from – as soon as he gets the ball on the other end of the court, he can pull and probably make it. I mean, Zach, you're right. The game missed Steph Curry last year. I mean, damn, we started calling Damian Lillard the new Steph Curry. I mean, that's the most disrespectful thing I heard in my life. Zach, it made me want to cut my ears off after he look, no, but he's not no Steph Curry. He's nowhere near no Steph Curry, and we all know that, and you know that too. The reason why I'm high on the Warriors tonight, because number one, ladies and gentlemen, for those who may not know, all right, Steph Curry's my favorite player in the game right now. Kevin Durant's coming in number 2. But he's playing phenomenal basketball. Zach, he is the MVP, and I agree with you. guys that add wins to the team. All right, let's think about it. Without Steph Curry, are the Warriors even a play-in team? Not a playoff team. Are they even a play-in team? Are they a play-in team without Steph Curry? Yes or no?
They're a lottery pick team.
Okay, we saw it last year. Now, you get Steph Curry back, hot and cold. You're surviving above water. You really rough start, Zach. I remember the rough start against Brooklyn in a couple of nights. Then they turned it on. Steph Curry has a fair midseason, and then I want to say after All-Star break, this brother's on a whole nother planet. Zach, he is must-see TV showstop. Zach, if there was full crowd and you had to pay the price of admission to go watch the New York Knicks or Steph Curry alone, everybody wants to go watch Steph Curry. No one cares about the New York Knicks. No disrespect today. I'm not trying to get into that argument. Not today. But the thing is, when you talk about what Kenny the Jet Smith said, he's not wrong for this year. This year, he is the best basketball player in basketball. He has been consistent in his last 15 games, except for one horrendous start he had where he was shooting 28% from the field and he only had 18 points. But Zach, every other game other since that, he's been spot on. Ever since the Warriors lost by 50 points, he's been spot on. He's been tired of losing. Ever since a tailbone injury, something kicked in. And one more thing, Zach. Let's not argue about LeBron James this year because he wasn't that efficient even before. I'll give him the injury. Zach, I deferred to you when we went out to lunch the other day. I said I'm not too fond of ankle injuries for reasons, but you having a guy that is one day is being injured. Zach, he just tweaked his ankle a couple of days ago. We don't know the status of LeBron James' health, or we don't know the status of Anthony Davis's health. And what are you getting Dennis Schroeder at? That's what you have to realize. And then two, yeah, you're going against a Phoenix Suns team that the coach just won Coach of the Year, and Chris Paul deserves an MVP to look at. And Zach, I think he's top three. And in my honest opinion, it goes Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and then Chris Paul has to be third. And then you can put Steph Curry there. But when it boils down to that, the Phoenix Suns aren't scrubs. They're not scrubs. They're really not. On paper, if you look at it, you're like, okay, Devin Booker, CP3, and then who else? But CP3 is going to get the most out of those guys. Devin Booker is a stone cold killer that the world's for some reason starting to realize who the hell he is. Even I've known about him. And DeAndre Ayton, he's not a major question mark. He gets better every game, Zach. So let me ask you this. You're telling me if the Warriors win today, which I believe they will, let's say your Lakers getting versus a red-hot Utah that fires on soldiers. You're not worried? You're not worried. Both those two teams could beat either the Warriors or the Lakers at any given time. But you're not worried because of what? LeBron James, Zach. Until LeBron starts complaining about his ankle and everything else, I don't want to hear it. I want to see it. He can't stand upright. Yeah, okay, yesterday I had someone text me saying LeBron James did a LeBron James type dunk, but guess what, Zach? After that, he hurt his ankle and then didn't return back from the game. There's one difference from, laughing with your teammates and walking around than playing. Because last time I checked is that when you're walking around on the bench, you're not running and you're not being physically tested. And before I hand it off to you, Zach, I want to say this last point. The playoffs are a whole different animal. Not only do you have to get your conditioning back if you're LeBron James, you have to keep your body ready if you're LeBron James. And you have to form that chemistry again if you're LeBron James. While these other teams are already been doing that. They're about to get Spider Mitchell back if you're the Jazz. And the Suns are ready to go. They're fired up. No one expected them to be this good. Zach, I didn't expect it. And if you make it past those two teams, you got a Clippers team that, Zach, call it what you want. They low man to the end of the year, but they're looking for something to prove. And if you, by the grace, if you make it out of that and you make it to the Eastern Conference, Philly and Brooklyn are coming for your heads. Oh, no, but I guess you're right. LeBron James over everybody, okay, but apparently.
It's been proven.
Let's win.
This
is one of the worst years LeBron James ever had.
8 straight conference final victories. 8 straight finals appearances. Yes, it is the LeBron James playoff factor.
In the Eastern Conference, remember that. In the Eastern Conference.
And how has he done in his first 2 years in the Western Conference?
didn't make the playoffs one year, and then
when he was
last
hurt
year,
and his health year.
there was no
With them, how'd he
and then
do?
there was a bubble. There was no such thing as Golden State.
They were
And
the
half the
one
damn
seed.
teams didn't want to
They were
be there
the
in the
one
first
seed
place.
before the
Don't
COVID
give me that.
pandemic began.
Don't give me
They were
that.
the one seed before the pandemic began. They were
Half the teams
unquestionably
didn't want to
the
be
best
there.
team in the NBA last year. Unquestionably the best team in the NBA last year. They didn't fold to a team like Denver. Your Clippers did. Golden State, unfortunately, had a lot of injuries last year, so I'm not going to really speak on them. But bottom line is this. Look what happened in the playoffs when Kevin Durant got hurt.
The damn team
Steph Curry was
didn't
helpless.
be there.
They lost to the Raptors. All right? LeBron James, Kyrie leaves. He still takes that team to the finals and plays against the super team. The LeBron James factor is real. You're going
Half
to
the
see it tonight,
damn
and that is why I guess LeBron James everyone.
They didn't want to be there. Paul George hit a backboard and he gets paid $80 million to hit backboard. I mean, Zach, if that's the case,
I combined for 20 points, like 10% shooting.
Where is my money, Daryl Morey? If Paul George gets paid $80 million to hit backboard and then come out with an excuse and no way, shape, or form am I downplaying mental health. But when you get paid big time money, you think big time plays or big time plays with big time plays. Last time I checked,
the Clippers sold last year. The Lakers didn't. That's my point. The Clippers sold. The Lakers didn't. And the Lakers played good teams. The Houston Rockets were looking very good in the small ball lineup. The Portland Trailblazers were looking like a very hot and feisty 8 seed. And the Denver Nuggets, damn it, you know how good they looked last year and how good they looked this year. The Miami Heat, too, were rolling. This was no easy championship. This is no asterisk. All right, it happened in a bubble.
It is an asterisk.
So what? So what? It happened in a bubble. It's basketball.
It is an asterisk. Half the damn teams didn't want to be there. If you take a poll, right? If you take a poll, half the teams didn't want to be there because they didn't want the bubble. They didn't like it.
It happened anyway.
Hold on.
Time
out. In a regular year without the virus, right? In normal NBA, Zach, if last year didn't happen, right?
And the Lakers were the one seed in March, by the way.
Okay.
Let the record show that.
Do you think the Miami Heat were really making the finals last year if it was a regular year? Yes or no? Be honest.
I don't think so. I think it would have probably been Boston or Milwaukee, and I still think the Lakers would have won.
Okay. No. Okay.
Lakers, Bucks. I'm taking the Lakers. It's the LeBron James factor, especially with a guy AD there. Dennis Schroeder this year's coming.
Yeah, that's right. AD carried the load.
Alex Caruso, Rajon Rondo.
AD
Dwight Howard last year as well. Danny Green. They were a good team last year. And they're even better this year, despite the fact that their records went down tremendously. They've had a lot of injuries this year. Look, it's going to be a tough finals. But talking about the playing game, LeBron James is not going to lose some silly playing game.
Zach, you know what I really want to happen, and I'm being so serious when I say this too. I want LeBron to lose tonight, and I want LeBron to lose the next night. Because you know what? It would be nothing more to me to listen to you be upset for the whole playoffs, and for LeBron fans to be able to shut their mouths. We got nothing to worry about. It's not going to happen. It's going to happen, sir. I'm telling you. I'm saying it's not going. It's going to be a short playoff because LeBron's going home.
And you talked about efficiency. Let's talk about efficiency for LeBron James. 25 points a game this year, 51.3% shooting, 36.5% three-point shooting. That's his highest mark since 2017.
Zach, his three-point shooting was costing him games before he got hurt. Remember that,
36.5%. That's a tick above the league average. 7.7 rebounds, 7.8 assists, 1.1 steals, and 0.6 blocks. Those are good numbers. Now, you may ask, what about when he came back from injury? Well, here's how he played against the Pacers, and here's how he played.
Ooh, the Pacers. Woo. Pacers. Wow.
24 points, 11 to 22, 7 boards, 8 assists. In the Pelicans game, 25 on 11 to 22. They play Golden State tonight.
Zach. Those are eye-popping teams. A Zion-less Pelicans and an identity. Well, I can't really make fun of the Pacers today because after last night, we'll get into that a little bit later. But, Zach, wow. Pacers. Woo. Big woo.
I mean, you referenced Steph Curry dropping 46 against the Grizzlies. Yeah, they're the 10 seed or 9 seed. Dropping 49 and 34 against the Thunder, 37 and 41 against the Pelicans. The majority of the games you referenced were against nobody teams. So I mean, you got to choose your side of the argument. You got to choose your side.
Nobody teams. Who in the hell else is helping Steph Curry out there? I want to know.
I mean, Wiggins had a 40-point game.
Wiggins, Zach. Andrew Wiggins is barely there spiritually. Barely. He's just a body. And you know, I hate saying about Andrew Wiggins. I like the guy. Zach, he'll give you one good night and then he'll go miss it for the next month.
That's probably why they're the 8 seed right now, not like a top 5 seed.
Because Steph Curry is the reason why they're there. They are there. Andrew Wiggins was there last year, and no improvement. No improvement.
He's near the back end of the year after the D'Angelo Russell trade. Bottom line is this before we get to predictions coming up after this. LeBron James does not go down easy in the playoffs. I don't think he's going down in the playing game tonight.
He's going down in the playing game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He's going down to. But we're going to get to the keys on why he will be.
Coming up after this, predictions for the playing games. We'll go through both the Grizzlies and the Spurs game. And then, of course, we will end it off with some more of the drama, the Warriors and the Lakers. Stay tuned.
We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom-designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's episode.
All right, break it down. The most exciting game of the night. Just kidding. The San Antonio Spurs, Memphis Grizzlies, win or go home. The winner of this game will face the loser of the Warriors-Lakers game. This is a tough one for me. It shouldn't be tough. But Greg Popovich in one game. Spurs have turned heads this year. But I got to go with the Grizzlies. They were short-circuited last year. They were the 8th seed going into the bubble. Had a really tough schedule. Lost to Portland. John Morant's not going to let that happen twice. I'm going to go with Memphis tonight. The key, Morant needs to have a really good game tonight. Dylan Brooks needs to have a good game. They just got to be able to put it all together. Put it all together in one game, make it matter the most.
Zach, I don't disagree with you. I agree with you on Grizzlies winning, but here's the thing too. Greg Popovich is known to coach really well, adjust on the fly, being able to put his team in great position to win. But it's the personnel for me that trips me the most. I like DeMar DeRozan, but he's really been on a decline since he's been there. But Zach, you're right. John Morant, whatever night John Morant has is whatever night the Grizzlies win or lose. If John Morant shooting 2 of 14 from the field and 1 for 7 on threes, they're losing. If John Morant's having a fantastic night where he has 29 points and he gets some help from Jared Jackson and Dylan Brooks, they're going to win. It really relies on John Morant and how he does.
I mean, that's the X factor. That's what you want. If you want to be the star of your team, you're the second overall pick in the draft last year. Rookie of the year, he's got to do his part. So it's going to be a fun one to watch tonight. Do not sleep on the Spurs, though. It's going to be a close one.
The Spurs are one of those teams, Zach, where you look at them on paper and how they're competitive, and it's just they just beat you with a slow pace. The mid-range game, there's not really a guy that's going to go out and kill you with 40. DeMar DeRozan could do that, but I don't think he has it in his tank anymore. Zach, if the Grizzlies don't win tonight, it will be because of John Morant's poor performance.
I will say this, though. I think it's going to be an energy game. Whichever team has the lead within the first 6 minutes of the game is going to win the game. I think whichever team comes out, brings the energy, is going to win it, same as it was last night with Charlotte and Indiana. Last night was pretty simple, though. I think I mentioned this slightly before when we were talking about it yesterday. While we chose last night for LaMelo and the Hornets to win, we did acknowledge the veteran experience that the Pacers had. They came out firing on all cylinders. The Hornets simply put, we're not ready for it.
Well, Zach, I gave them praise. I gave them the Brooklyn Nets. I want to say that was a 2019 Brooklyn Nets or 2018. I can't remember. That team was led by D'Angelo Russell. It was a bunch of group of guys, young players that played well together and was able to string a couple wins together and able to make it to the playoffs. They weren't going to do much. But, Zach, the lack of veteran spirit presence, I want to say no disrespect to Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier, but they needed more. You're the only 2 real veterans out on the team that have playoff DNA that has been deep in the playoffs, and you guys were able to get the young guys in the go. And it just looked like Indiana wanted it more. I'll just call it how it is. Indiana wanted it more. They did it without Karis LeVert, so I'm excited to see the next round.
It's going to be exciting. Look, they're playing against Washington, I believe, tomorrow. I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. I really do. I think it's going to be a really good game. But with that being said, let's get to it now. Los Angeles, San Francisco, or formerly Golden State, as their name is called. Warriors, Lakers, LeBron, Steph. Gavin, I'll let you go first. The winner tonight is the 7th seed and plays the Phoenix Suns. Gets the advantage of being on that side of the bracket, being able to avoid a team like the Clippers until the conference final. Gavin, I could probably guess for you, but I'll let you predict who you think is going to win tonight and give your explanation.
I'm going with the Warriors, Zach, and here's why. Steph Curry is a dangerous man. We've seen it. Zach, you saw what he did to our Sixers. I mean, damn, just single-handedly destroyed them by himself. And with a healthy Joel Embiid that was playing. Having saw that, it's going to take more than just Steph Curry to win. Zach, he's going to need some help. He's going to need help from Andrew Wiggins. He's going to need help from a guy like Jordan Poole, Draymond Green. You're going to have to turn into a scorer than just a point forward. It's doable tonight. Zach, the Lakers do have the size and the length, but I'm betting on it's the help. It's the question with the help. Is AD's groin okay? Is LeBron can LeBron's ankle withstand a full 4 quarters? And is Andre Drummond? We know Andre Drummond's gonna grab every board, but Zach, if Steph Curry's having one of those nights where every shot he throws up is good, it's gonna be a long night for your best friend.
That is true. That is the one thing about the one-game playoff. 3-point shooting can be streaky. Curry, a 40+% shooter easily from beyond the arc. But I am going to go with the Lakers tonight. The biggest X factor is health. Again, the starting lineup tonight is going to be Dennis Schroeder. It's going to be Pope. I believe he's back. I'll double-check that. If not, then the lineup will be a little mixed up. But you do KCP starting at the 2, LeBron James at the 3, Anthony Davis at the 4, Andre Drummond at the 5. Gavin, on paper, they're a better team than the Warriors. It's about how healthy they are. It's about how much they want it. From the jump, it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a close one. It's going to be closer than the first one. But I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Lakers to secure the 7th seed. However, I do have the Golden State Warriors defeating Ja Morant and the Grizzlies to secure that 8th seed. And they'll make noise in the playoffs. I don't know how much. I don't think that they'll beat Utah. But they won't be as easy of an exit as the usual 1-8 would be.
Zach, here's my prediction. I got 120 to 115 a Warriors win fashion. But I don't like, predicting a hard future, but I think LeBron's ankle is going to show up again and rear its ugly head, and he will sit down. And I don't think Anthony Davis is going to have one of those good nights because, Zach, once again, Anthony Davis is played 15 games since he's been there, 10 games, and he's had a couple great games and a couple good games and a couple are you serious type games. So, Zach, I mean, if you're telling me in a one-game scenario you're betting on shooting versus health, I mean, I'll take that bet. I'll take the shooting bet versus the health because that's no joke. High ankle sprains are no joke. Zach, groins are no joke, and Achilles and who knows if Dennis Schroeder's off the COVID list or not. Zach, my prediction is it's going to be the Warriors take the 7th seed, which will be a nice little matchup to see Chris Paul versus Steph Curry again. And I got the Grizzlies actually beating the Lakers because of Zach not trying to be biased or anything. But I'm gonna be honest. The last time that the Grizzlies and Lakers played, and I want to say that this is before LeBron goes out, and this is when they had just Ja Morant. The Grizzlies were up big. They ended up winning by a little bit, but you never know what can happen. It's a one-game scenario. That's why I like it.
Even if the Lakers lose tonight, I don't see them losing back-to-backs. They're still a fine team without LeBron. They're not great, but they're better than the Grizzlies still. It's going to be a good game. That's all that matters. It's going to be a good game, but it's about LeBron and Anthony Davis's health. AD has played terrible without LeBron on the lineup, hence supporting why he's such a great player, why he's so valuable to the team. It's going to be a good game tonight. I'm excited for it. I'll be up watching it. I'm sure Gavin will be texting me a lot. Try to live tweet it during the game, maybe a little bit, and we'll see the end results. Whatever happens, and praying for the best.
Real quick, Zach, if you are the Lakers and you do happen to find yourself in the 8th seed, Utah is scary, man. I'll say that much. That's all I'm going to say.
That they're a balanced team. They're well constructed.
They're not a finals team. They're well constructed.
Once Friday comes along, we will have a very clear idea of what the playoffs are going to look like. Predictions for this weekend's matchup. Sixers play on Sunday. Rest of the games are pretty much getting underway. Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets going to be a fun series to watch as well. In order to make it to the conference final, the Nets would have to go through both Boston and Milwaukee or Miami. Sixers will have to go through what I suspect to be Washington or Indiana, and then either New York or Atlanta. So a much easier path for the Sixers. They need to be able to get there and do it. Possibly some Sixers pregame live this weekend. We'll figure out some more fun to do.
We'll be there.
With that being said, everybody, we hope you enjoyed today's show. Let's go Lakers tonight. We'll see if they can pull it off against the Golden State Warriors. Gavin, anything else from you?
Yeah, 3 quick points. Zach, I had to point these out. Number 1, Sabrina Ionescu, and Zach, I've been practicing that all day today, so I can get her last name right. Dropped a triple-double. She is the youngest, the 9th player in WNBA history to do a triple-double, and one of the youngest players to do it. So I'm scared to see what she's gonna do for the rest of the season. Zach, I'm waiting for Paige Beckers to come out of college. Another thing too, Jason Tatum dropped 50 points last night, Zach. Just imagine, and this was on ESPN today, just imagine if the Sixers actually got Jason Tatum. It could have been Tatum, Simmons, and Embiid. Okay, and finally, Zach, my last one goes out to the Phillies. I got a lot of criticism yesterday talking about why do I be negative about the Phillies. Well, there you go. When I'm negative about the Phillies, they win. Zach Wheeler 10 strikeouts.
Zach Wheeler had a double.
Next to a 10-piece, and what else happened? Oh yeah, and a 7-run inning, Zach. So maybe I should be more negative. The Phillies are losing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good one.
And whatever the White Sox manager's name is, shut up. Stop saying stuff in public. Talk to your players, keep it in the dugout, but just shut up, dude. You're literally
that's the things that kill baseball. Zach.
He has bashed his player not once but twice now, and it's incredibly disrespectful to do that in public. And they're the best team in baseball, so that's kind of annoying. And I saw a rule proposal today. If you don't want those circumstances to happen, allow the losing team to concede after the 7th inning. I kind of like that rule. Maybe to be debated later in the week.
Here's what I like real quick. Like I know we're going to go, but listen, that's crazy for your own manager to come out and publicly blast the rookie. I have 3 opinions on this. 1, you don't do that because after the team, Zach, he should have been fired for allegations he had, but the team stuck up for him. The players themselves stuck up for him. And 2, you don't publicly bash your player. That's something you do behind closed doors. That's something you go to him one-on-one and say, hey. But like Trevor Bauer said, is those stupid things are the things that kill baseball. Here's an idea, Zach. If you don't like me swinging on a 3-0 pitch, I got 3 suggestions for you. 1, play better baseball so we won't get up that much. 2, don't run position players. Or 3, what you just said, concede. Or Zach, how about my last one? Just shut up and play. How about that? I mean, pitch better. I don't know what to tell you.
It's being ruined in baseball.
And I hate telling them to, shut up and play because Zach, we all know where that comes from. But I mean, that's the stuff that kills baseball. We saw it last year. It's a shame that's really called a no fun league. So many stupid superstitions.
And finally, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., first tee time, PGA Championship. Boy, is it windy out there. Let's see if any players can break par tomorrow. I'm rooting for Jordan Spieth. Bryson DeChambeau, let's see if his ball speed can cut through the wind. It's going to be a fun week to watch. Although it's not the most exciting major, I'm excited for it. But with that being said, Gavin Poole for #1 golfer in the world, Dustin Johnson. With that being said, thank you all so much for joining us on this fine Wednesday. We hope you all enjoyed. For those of you watching tonight, the Westchester Bayard Ruston lacrosse team is hosting their first playoff game with fans. It's going to be an exciting one. I will be in attendance. Should be a fun one, hoping for them to win. With that being said, again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.
Have a good night. Let's go Warriors!
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts of our videos.